I want you to stop absolutely everything you are doing right now. Turn off notifications, close the door, take a deep breath. I want you to pay attention to the most expensive, most exclusive, and rarest sound in the modern world. It isn't the roar of an Italian V8 engine tearing up a highway in Tuscany. It isn't the clinking of Baccarat crystal glasses on a yacht in Monaco. It isn't the sound of an audience applauding your name. It is the sound of silence. Imagine waking up on a rainy Tuesday morning, the kind where the sky feels heavy over the city. The alarm rings at 6, the bedroom is cold. You open your eyes, and miraculously, there isn't that familiar tightness in your chest, that knot of steel that never seems to untie, squeezing your heart before your feet even touch the floor. There isn't that thin, metallic, annoying voice in the back of your head, that sadist narrator whispering, "If the car breaks down today, you are screwed. If the boss is in a bad mood, you are screwed. If your tooth hurts, you are screwed. If the bank calls, don't answer." There is no visceral, almost animalistic fear of opening your work email app and seeing a message from HR scheduling a surprise meeting. There is no secret shame of swiping your card at the coffee shop for a latte and praying, holding your breath, that the machine doesn't decline it in front of the line and destroy your dignity for $5. There is only silence, calm, focus, a peace you haven't felt since you were a child, and your biggest problem was a scraped knee. Most people spend their entire lives deaf to this possibility. They live with a constant static noise, a high-frequency hum called survival mode. They have become so accustomed to stress that they think cortisol is an essential food group. They think living in fear, negotiating which bills to pay, juggling due dates is the inevitable price of being an adult. They say, "That's just how life is. Life is hard." They are wrong. They have been deceived. They have been domesticated. There is a magic number, an exact coordinate on the financial map where this noise turns off as if someone pulled the plug from the wall, where the world shifts from constant threat mode to infinite opportunity mode. That number isn't $1 million. Forget the million for now. The million is the top of the mountain, and you are still in the swamp. That number isn't $100,000. For the vast majority of people living in the modern economy, that number, the number of initial manumission, is $20,000 liquid. I am Buck, and today, I'm not going to teach you how to get rich quick with shady crypto, saturated dropshipping, or pyramid schemes disguised as multi-level marketing. I'm going to teach you something much more valuable, something school didn't teach and your bank manager doesn't want you to know: how to stop being a well-paid slave. I'm going to show you the anatomy of real freedom, the kind no one can take from you, not the government, not the market, not your boss. I am going to prove to you, mathematically and psychologically, why the first $20,000 changes your biology, your brain, and your destiny in a way your first million never will. To understand the nuclear power of 20,000, we need to look with brutal honesty at who doesn't have it, even if it looks like they have everything. We need to dissect the life of the broke high earner. I want to introduce you to Mike. Mike is 34 years old. He is the image of American corporate success. He is a senior account manager at a tech company in Austin, Texas. Tailored suit, whitened smile, firm handshake, impeccable LinkedIn profile. Mike's salary is impressive: $150,000 a year. $12,500 hitting the account every 30th like clockwork. If you looked at Mike's Instagram, you would say he won the game of life. Hashtag gratitude, hashtag hustle, hashtag success. He drives a white Tesla Model Y, financed over 72 months. Saves gas and is good for the planet, he says, to justify the $800 payment. He lives in an incredible downtown apartment with a river view, gym in the building, and gourmet area. It's important for networking and image, he says. He eats out 4 times a week at trendy restaurants where a drink costs $20. He wears the right watch. He drinks the right whiskey. He travels to Tulum twice a year to post sunset photos. But let's open Mike's financial x-ray. Let's look behind the Wizard of Oz's curtain and see the rusted gears. The rent for that incredible apartment costs $3,500. The Tesla payment, the premium insurance, and the charger take $1,200. The student loans, which he has dragged for 10 years like an iron ball on his ankle, take $800. The lifestyle, the business dinners that aren't reimbursed, the designer clothes to look successful, the trips put on the credit card over 12 months, consumes the rest like a gravitational black hole. At the end of the month, when the dust settles and the salary is gone, he has, with a lot of luck, $200 left. Mike's bank balance this morning, before drinking his expensive machine espresso, $2,300. He earns $150,000 a year, but he has less than a week of survival in the bank. Mike is what I call the glass giant. He is huge, shiny, imposing. He casts a big shadow. He intimidates. But if you throw a small rock, a bad flu that keeps him out of work for a week, a flat tire, a delay in the quarterly bonus, a leak in the bathroom, he shatters into 1,000 sharp pieces. Mike's brain, despite the expensive suit and the management title, is operating in reptilian mode, the most primitive mode of human evolution. Studies from Harvard and Princeton on the psychology of scarcity show that lack of liquidity, the constant feeling of having no reserve, of being on a tightrope, reduces functional IQ by 13 points. 13 points is the difference between an alcoholic and a sober person. It is the difference between a strategist and an idiot. Mike is smart, educated, articulate, but financially, he is operating with the handbrake pulled and the engine seizing. He lives in fear, a fear he doesn't admit even to himself in the mirror while shaving. He laughs at the boss's unfunny and prejudiced jokes because he desperately needs that job to pay for the Tesla. He accepts abusive clients who call on Sunday night screaming because he can't lose the commission to pay the rent for the apartment with the view. He is a luxury slave. His handcuffs are golden, lined with velvet, studded with fake diamonds, but they are still handcuffs. And they are tightening every day, cutting off the circulation to his soul. Now turn your head and look at the desk next door in the dark corner of the office, near the printer. Meet Sam. Sam is the same age as Mike, 34 years old. He works at the same company, on the same floor, breathes the same air conditioning, but works in tech support. Sam's salary is $80,000 a year, almost half of what Mike earns. Mike earns in 6 months what Sam takes a year to earn. Sam drives a 6-year-old gray Toyota Camry with a scratch on the back door paid off 3 years ago. He lives in a neighborhood further out, in a comfortable, clean, safe apartment, but without a liveried doorman, without an infinity pool, and without a river view. Sam brings a packed lunch 3 times a week. He likes to cook, says it's therapeutic, says his food is better than the restaurants. He makes excellent coffee at home and brings it in a thermos. Colleagues in the office think Sam is simple. Mike secretly thinks Sam is a failure without ambition, a low-profile guy who will never move up in life. But let's look at Sam's x-ray. Let's see the naked truth that eyes don't see. His cost of living is low, optimized, and efficient. He lives on $4,000 a month and lives with dignity. Money is left over every month. And he invests religiously as if it were a tithe to his future self. And Sam's bank balance this morning? $25,000. Liquid, available. In digital cash. In high-yield savings. This is what I call go-to-hell money. Sam isn't rich. He isn't going to buy an island in the Caribbean tomorrow. He isn't going to retire today. But Sam has something Mike, with all his 6-figure salary and Italian suit, can't buy. The high ground. In military strategy, from Sun Tzu in ancient China to Napoleon at Waterloo, the rule is clear and immutable. Whoever controls the high ground dictates the rules of battle. Whoever is on the high ground sees the enemy coming first, has reaction time, has gravity in their favor, can choose when to fight and when to retreat, can throw rocks down while the enemy has to throw spears up. $20,000 is your high ground in the modern economic war. It is the point where you stop reacting to life like a dizzy cockroach running from a slipper and start responding to it like a general observing the battlefield. It is the difference between being the prey and being the predator. Buck asks you, if it's so obvious, if it's so mathematical, why is it so absurdly difficult to reach these first 20,000? Why do most people die on the beach of 5,000 or 10,000? Because you are fighting gravity, against social programming, against your own biology. You have three invisible enemies working 24 hours a day to keep you poor. Enemy one, the ego. At $10,000, you start to feel comfortable. And comfort is the killer of progress. Comfort is the morphine of ambition. Your ego, that internal saboteur, says, you worked hard, you suffered, you deserve to change cars. That leather seat is so soft. You deserve that trip to Europe to post photos and show your ex that you are doing well. If you spend this money before reaching the critical mass of 20,000, you kill the snowball. You abort your future to feed your ego in the present. Enemy 2, social validation. The world is designed to take money from you. Instagram, television, your broke friends. They all scream, spend, consume, show off. If you have 20,000 in the bank and drive an old Toyota Camry, people think you are doing badly. If you have zero in the bank and drive a financed Tesla, people think you are a success. Society applauds decorated poverty and ignores silent wealth. You need the mental strength of a monk to resist this. Enemy 3, boredom. Saving money is boring. Watching the number grow slowly is boring. Spending is exciting. It gives dopamine. It gives immediate pleasure. Most people prefer the thrill of ruin to the boredom of construction. But understand one thing, 20,000 is the point where geometry changes. It is the point where your money starts to work for real. If you leave $20,000 invested at an average market rate, they generate enough to pay, say, your electricity, water, and internet bill forever. It might seem like little to someone dreaming of a Ferrari, but psychologically, it is a Copernican revolution. It is the first time in your life that capital pays for your existence, not your sweat. It is the first time you don't need to sell an hour of your life to keep the lights on. You need to treat these first 20,000 not as spending money, but as an oxygen tank. Imagine life is a deep dive at the bottom of the sea in a dark cave. Mike is diving while holding his breath. He has to surface every minute to not drown. He lives in panic, always seeking air, always desperate. Sam has an oxygen tank on his back, the 20,000. He can stay down there, exploring, looking for pearls, waiting for the big fish, navigating calmly, because he has air. He breathes while others suffocate. Money is financial oxygen. Without it, you can only think about breathing. Your time horizon is 30 seconds. With it, you can think about building. Your time horizon is 30 years. Now you must be thinking, with a mix of hope and anger, Buck, I get it. I want the oxygen tank. I want the high ground. I need this dignity, but I can barely pay the bills. How the hell do I save $20,000? Seems impossible. I won't lie to you. I won't sell you sweet, colorful dreams. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. There is no get-rich-quick scheme. There is a war protocol. You need to enter a temporary and radical phase of your life called war economy. It isn't forever. It is until you hit the milestone. It is a short burst of maximum intensity. It is the period where you cut everything that isn't vital for your biological and professional survival. You cancel Netflix, Spotify, the expensive gym. You work out in the park. You sell what you don't use on eBay. That guitar gathering dust, those designer clothes, that video game console. Everything becomes ammo. You make extra income, Uber, freelance, sales, consulting, with the fury of a cornered animal wanting to escape the cage. You work on Saturday, you work on Sunday, but more important than cutting coffee or selling things is armoring the mind. Most people fail not because they don't know math. Spending less than you earn is obvious, a 5-year-old understands it, but because they don't have a system. They depend on willpower, and willpower is a finite resource. It is a battery that runs out on Wednesday night when you are tired and sad. You need tactical discipline. You need a clear order of what to do every morning, without thinking, without feeling, just executing like a soldier on a mission. That is why I created the manual. I got tired of seeing people like Mike, talented, intelligent, with infinite potential, being crushed by the system because they had no strategy, because they played the game without knowing the rules. I compiled the exact protocol, step by step, day by day, action by action, that I used to go from zero to my sovereignty. I didn't write a cute self-help book with motivational quotes for you to stick on the mirror and feel good about yourself while remaining broke. I wrote a field manual for the trench. It is called The Order of the Day, 365 high-impact actions for your financial sovereignty. Pay close attention to what I'm going to tell you now. Look into my eyes. This isn't a book for you to read and put on the shelf to gather dust and look smart. It is an operating system for your year. It is 365 missions, one per day. Tactical missions too. Eliminate the invisible waste draining your blood without you seeing it. Hidden fees, phantom subscriptions, parasitic habits. Armor your mind against aggressive advertising and the shadow of consumption that makes you buy what you don't need to impress people who don't matter. Multiply your capacity to generate cash fast, today, right now, using the skills you already have. Build your 20,000 oxygen tank in record time, not in 10 years, but in 1 or 2 years of laser focus. Imagine where you would be a year from now if, every day, you executed a high-impact strategic action on your finances. Not try, not think about doing. Execute. You would be in Sam's place. You would have the high ground. You would have the power to look at your boss and say no if needed. You would sleep in peace knowing no crisis can destroy you. The link for the order of the day is down below, in the description and the first pinned comment. The price? It costs less than the dinner you were going to order tonight via delivery to forget you hate your job. It is a ridiculous investment for the return of a lifetime of freedom. It is trading a pizza for a fortress. But the choice is yours, and only yours. No one can save you but yourself. You can keep being Mike, driving a beautiful car, living in a fancy apartment, posting happy photos, and sweating cold every time the phone rings or the boss calls you into the office. Living one step from the abyss, praying for luck not to run out. Being a slave to appearance, a glass giant waiting for the stone. Or you can decide right now, this second, to become Sam. Start building your shield, start filling your oxygen tank, and take back sovereignty over the only life you have. Don't wait for Black Tuesday to arrive to start digging the well. When thirst arrives, it is too late to dig. The time to build the ark is before the rain, and the rain always comes. It might take time, but it comes. Get your copy of the Order of the Day, receive your mission, and go to war. Keep your numbers clear and your soul free. I am Buck, and you can count on me. The link is down there. Execution is up to you. See you on the front lines.